Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I hear some good mornings from across the state. This is a great virtual meeting. I'm Elaine Bowen, Extension Specialist, Health Promotion, and work closely with the WVU's National Center of Excellence in Women's Health. And we would like to welcome everyone from across the state to our quarterly Community Advisory Network meeting. We've got folks here at WVU Health Sciences, we have people on the phones, and we have people on our GoToMeeting software. So just to get us started before we do some brief introductions, I'd like to ask Tracy if she'll give us some tips on the GoToMeeting features. That would be great.
Hello everyone that's here virtually today. Basically on your GoToMeeting screen you should see both a PowerPoint and a webcam feed. And there is also on kind of the right hand side of your screen when you log in you should have seen some different control options. There is a chat area available to you that if you have a question or you're having problems during the session, you can place that question in the chat area. Send that to us. We will be monitoring that throughout the morning. In addition, we highly recommend that you mute yourself if you are not speaking. We will be going around doing introductions here momentarily, but it will help us control the amount of feedback that we're getting. So if you can mute yourself either by phone or if you're connected through voice over IP, there is a small image next to your name when you see the list of attendees. You can right-click that and mute yourself. So I think those are the main tips, and again, just give us a chat message if you're having trouble. Thank you.
Thanks, Tracy. I'd like to just make a few introductory comments and then ask each of you, wherever you are, to introduce yourself and your organization, whoever you're representing. First of all, if you're a first-timer, the WVU's National Center of Excellence in Women's Health has been around for over 10 years now, and we're one of 20 nationally recognized centers. And we have a real distinction here in West Virginia to help connect women and resources and really build an awareness of women's health issues across the state. And we're the only one of the centers of excellence that actually covers an entire state. All the other centers, have a much smaller area geographically. So we're very excited that you're here. We hope that it'll be valuable to you to hear what else is going on in the state. And we always feature a keynote speaker on a topic we think will be very relevant and kind of cutting edge dealing with women's health issues. So we'll get the presentation started in a minute. All of our meetings are recorded, so just a warning. So you will be recorded. And they are also posted on the Center of Excellence website. So you can go there and see the other topics and presentations as well. So just to get us started, let's see. We'll start in this room and then we'll go to the phones. If you could just introduce yourself and your organization. Later in the program, you'll have a chance to do a little more sharing.
My name is Amanda Gore. I'm a registered nurse and district manager at Novo Nordisk with the Diabetes Education Program.
I'm Michelle McClung. I'm a pharmacist and a certified diabetes educator, and I also work at Novo Nordisk with the Diabetes Education Program.
I'm Dana Volker. I'm a faculty member in the College of Physical Activity and Sports Sciences, and I do body image research. And I work very closely with Annette Freshour in the athletics department. She's a sports dietitian to put on a program for the female athletes on campus.
Georgia Narsavage. I direct interprofessional education, and I'm a nurse practitioner by background.
Katie O'Connor, and I'm with the Center of Excellence in Women's Health. I'm Penny Womelsdorf, and I'm the project director for the West Virginia Healthy Start Happy Project and the West Virginia Healthy Start Navigator Project.
I'm Kelly Taylor. I work with West Virginia Healthy Start Navigator for the health insurance market.
I'm Robin Altobello. I'm a residency manager here at WVU, and I'm here for personal reasons.
Linda Bias, I work for Health Careers Opportunity Program here in Texas.
And I'm Betty Gretchen. I'm with the Center for Excellence in Women's Health.
But I'm Tracy Beckley with Academic Innovation, and just to remind the virtual folks, I'm picking up some feedback, so if we could just make sure that everyone's muted that isn't speaking, that would really help that out, I think.
And I'm Lauren Prinzo. I'm a Marion County Families and Health Agent with WVU Extension Service.
Thanks. Those of you who are on the phone, there's no real easy way to do this. You just have to speak up, jump in, and you may speak over somebody else, but that's okay. So if you could go ahead and speak up at this point and introduce yourselves. Hello.
Nobody wants to go through.
You go ahead. You're it.
Okay, Patricia Long. I'm a registered nurse. I work with my husband, Dr. Bob Thompson, in Fairmont, and we have age management there.
Thanks for joining us, Tricia.
Good morning. I'm Sarah
Speak up, please.
FRN from the Boone County Stopwatch and Putnam Wellness Coalition.
And your name, please?
Sarah Clement.
Sarah Clement. Hello?
Hello. I'm Karen Perry. And I started a nonprofit, Libera, for West Virginia women to kind of take a holistic approach to women's freedom.
Okay. We're turning the sound up a bit to make sure we hear your introductions. Okay, others on the phone or on the computer?
Maybe they're not dressed.
Even if you're in your PJs, that's okay. We can't see you. Is there anybody else? Katie's not.
Hi, this is Kathy Molnar with the American Cancer Society. I'm a primary care systems manager.
Thanks, Kathy. Others?
Lauren Wells with WVU Family and Health Extension Services.
Hi, Lauren. Lauren's in
Hello.
Dow County. Yeah. Hello? Is there someone else? Okay, last call. Anybody else need to introduce themselves?
We have Shelley who does not have a mic.
Ah, okay. Hi, Shelley. I know you. And we have one more who's just joined us. Could you just tell us your name and where you work or your organization?
I'm Kelly and I work here. I'm in pharmaceutical systems and policy.
Okay. Thanks for joining us, Ken.
Could you ask Sandy to say something, just to test something real quick?
Okay, Sandy, could you speak up? We need to test the sound.
Sandy Mayhew with Greer Industries, Payroll and Benefits Manager.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Yeah. Sound.
Now I can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks, everyone. As I mentioned, we will have a chance to do a little bit of sharing, so you might want to, pardon me, be thinking about, if you've got something going on or something you want more information. This is a virtual networking opportunity for all of us. And
Correct address, or maybe I didn't have the right address, or
someone just joined us. Okay, someone just joined us, and we're hearing a lot of background noise. So if you could please mute your line. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, you know who you are. So as I mentioned, we try to have speakers address different topics that we think will have a pretty broad appeal. And from today's response, we know that that's very much the case. I'd like to introduce our speaker. Lauren Prenzo is, I still call her a new Extension faculty member with the WVU Extension Service. And she works out of our Fairmont office. So she's working out of one of our 55 local offices. And she has participated in a Women on Wellness retreat and has done this presentation. So welcome, Lauren. And is there anything else you need?
No, I think that's it.
Get ready, Neil, so everybody can see you.
I'm trying to stand in the right place. Good morning, everyone. Today we'll be talking about body image in the American woman. The presentation is titled, What Do You See When You Look in the Mirror? And I have a friend clicking the button for me, so if you see me point to this corner several times, that's why. So I'd like to start with a little bit of quick trivia to see, to let you all in on some statistics that you might find surprising. What percentage of American women report being unhappy with their bodies? Any guesses? 75%. Okay. 91% is the actual number. What percentage of American females naturally possess the body type needed for modeling? Any guesses?
2. Yeah.
5. Very good, Katie. What percentage of third grade girls report that they want to be thinner? 42%. So by this age, that's a really shocking statistic to most people. What percentage of 10-year-olds report dieting, binge eating, or fear of becoming fat? 60. I hope all of you on the phone and online are from you, but you're guessing out loud to yourselves. 81%. So that's a really significant number. What percentage of individuals diagnosed with eating disorders are between the ages of 12 and 25? 95%. So we're dealing with a lot of young people. All right, so I'd like to start with a short activity. For those of you here in person, you have a little piece of paper with a mirror on it. If you could pull that out right now. Okay. For those of you participating via phone or online, if you could just pull out a piece of scratch paper and a pen, you could participate with us. What I'd like you to do, if you could click one more time, please, is write down 3 things that you like about your body. And I'm only going to give you 60 seconds. So, ready, set, go. And I should mention, this information is just for you. It'll be confidential. It'll just be for yourself. All right. Do you want to stop? Okay. Raise your hand if you struggled a little bit figuring out which 3 things you like about your body to write down on the paper. Okay. Typically that's the case. It's just a really difficult thing for us as women to say what we like about ourselves and to reinforce that down on paper. You could click the next button. Click it again. What if I asked you to come up with 3 things that you didn't like about yourself and you had 60 seconds to write them down? Does anyone think they would have had trouble coming up with that? No. You can probably think right off the top of your head right now of 3 things, 5 things, 10 things that you would like to change about yourself. Now, for the next part of the activity, we have a lovely volunteer, Elaine Bowen. You can turn for the camera for those of us participating virtually. For those of you on the phone, if for this part of the activity, it'll be a little different for you. What we're going to do here in the room and virtually, if you can see our lovely volunteer, if you could take the same, we'll give you 60 seconds, we'll start in a minute, to also write down 3 things that you think are beautiful about our volunteer Elaine. If you're participating on the phone and you do not know Elaine, I feel sorry for you, but if you would think of somebody, a woman that you care about, and write down 3 things that you like about her appearance. We'll go. And if Elaine could just circle while we do this.
Strike a pose.
Vogue. That's right. Oh, I'm sorry. Could you write those on the little Post-its that I've handed out to you here in the room? Excuse me. We'll take Post-its, yeah. And virtually, if you're participating, if you wouldn't mind sending in some comments to Katie, we can also include them in the discussion. All right, I'll come around and pick, if you would please stick those to this folder. Oh. Katie's filling out multiple Post-its here.
Sure they're anonymous.
I like how you make them anonymous.
All right, did I miss any? Did I get them all?
Just got a couple more.
Okay. We're collecting the comments from our virtual participants, so we'll be continuing shortly. Thank you. All right. Okay, so we came up with things that we liked about ourselves, and now we came up with things that we liked about Elaine. I'll read some of them out loud while Elaine continues to build. We have her eyes, her hair, her smile, her height, her skin. Her smile is very repeated here. Dresses stylishly, looks strong and healthy. Her hair, her humor, her spirit, her poise, nice smile, pretty eyes, trim, proportion to height, her figure, her eyes, her hair, her overall body, her bone structure, her friendly posture, and her welcoming body language. So if we could give Elaine a round of applause.
Best part of my whole day.
Start every day like that. So, how many of you found it easier to write down things that you liked about Elaine as opposed to things that you liked about yourself? Raise your hands. Okay. This is interesting because obviously we live in our bodies every single day, all day, every day. We look at ourselves, we choose to dress ourselves how we want, we style our hair how we want. So why should it be that we have an easier time picking out 3 things about somebody that we just, either a stranger or just met or don't know, too well, as opposed to ourselves who we know very well? All right. So now I'm going to ask you if you would go around the room and read the 3 things you like about your own body out loud to the group. Okay, we're not actually going to do that, but how does that suggestion make you feel? What were some of the thoughts that went through your head when I asked you to read out loud in what is a recorded meeting 3 things that you like about yourself? Any tears? I don't know. Silence, terror, anxiety, wanting to change the items on your list. Anything else? And that just goes to reinforce. You can click again. Thank you. That just goes to reinforce that not only do we have trouble identifying the things that we like about ourselves, but we have a lot of trouble sharing those things. We've been our culture asks us to be humble or to have humility, and in fact that leads to us being unable to really proudly state the good things about ourselves. All right, so self-perception, which leads to our next topic. Obviously, our activity demonstrates in 5 minutes that our self-perception can be a little bit skewed. Every day when you wake up in the morning and as your day goes on, you're probably engaging in a lot of negative self-talk that may be even a very subconscious. When you get ready in the morning and you look in the mirror, it's human nature to immediately pick out the things that we don't like about ourselves. This kind of repetitive practice, habitual behavior of negative self-talk is the reason why when someone asks you, tell me 3 things you don't like about yourself, you're able to come up with it like this, because you subconsciously practice that every day. Now, this leads to a very inaccurate self-perception. You may not see yourself at all as you really are, and a lot of activities and research has been done that shows people are more able to describe a stranger than they are to describe themselves as a result. So we have our picture here with our 2 different skewed self-perceptions. So the learning curve, you can click on the video please. We'll watch a short video. We're hoping that virtually you all can hear this video. Wait a minute. Thank you. All right, so let me take it back to the slide. That video demonstrates we don't start out feeling camera shy or worrying about our appearance so much. This picture on the right is my son at 4 months old, who's now 10 months old. And clearly, his most favorite thing to do, oh, excuse me.
Something else play?
It plays to the next video unless you close the window.
Sorry. Alrighty, we'll just close that out. It must have been a playlist.
Yeah, it plays right through.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
No, that's okay. I just didn't realize it was a playlist. No worries.
This picture on the right is my son at 4 months old when he discovered himself in the mirror, having a great time. He's 10 months old now. His favorite thing in the world is still his own picture, or himself in the mirror, or a video of himself. How many of you have had a similar experience with babies? They love to look at their own reflection, to look at their own image. On the left-hand side is some of my family members also. You'll see in the front is Sophia making a funny face. Kids don't worry so much about coming out funny in pictures. In fact, if they have an odd face or it's from a weird angle or anything along those lines, they tend to think it's funny. They don't worry that they don't look right or they don't look nice or it's a bad angle or it makes them look bad in the picture. So the bottom line is we're not born with our body image. Self-esteem and body image are learned as children. So this is something that is very important because I'm sure all of you have children that you play an influential role in their lives as well. All right, so when we decide that something of ours is not good enough, too big, too small, anything along those lines, the question is what standard are we comparing ourselves to, and what standard are our children comparing themselves to as they grow and develop their body image and self-esteem? So media obviously plays a huge influence on us. Consciously, we can recognize that the images are not necessarily realistic, but being bombarded with these images leads us to form in our mind an image of a body that we don't quite meet up with. So we have some pictures of models. These are all clothing models that I pulled offline. So our last model here is actually considered a plus size model. She was just hired by Ralph Lauren, and she's a size 12, which is the very first plus size model that the organization has employed in its history. So this is actually considered progressive in the modeling industry to employ someone at this weight on the right-hand side.
Oh my
I think
God.
she looks better, honestly.
Right, she looks more
stronger.
realistic. Yeah. And that I'm actually, there's a couple of facts on the notes part, I don't know.
Oh,
Okay. The average the average fashion model, with the exception of our plus size model here on the right hand side, is between a size 0 and a size 4, usually 5'10" to 6'2", very tall, very thin, elongated features. So it's really something that's very difficult for the average woman to measure up to.
They airbrush a lot too, is the bad thing.
Right, and that's the next piece, airbrushing. Not only do they start out with a body that is not typical size or proportion, they also use a lot of airbrushing. So you can see in these two pictures, if you can pick out some of the differences between the two in the regular picture and the Photoshop picture. Here we have this picture of Faith Hill. The most noticeable thing I see is her arm. Her arm was made, and her arm is already thin, and her arm was made extremely thin. With the facial features, they took out all the lines around her eyes, they elongated her neck, they took away her collarbone. If you can see that, they only left this bone. They took away the front of the collarbone. So everything is designed to kind of pull the body smooth and slick up and tall without bothering with any of those, bones and other features that we need to survive. So you'll see a lot of times where the crease in her elbow has been eliminated. You'll see, if you pay attention, you'll notice that things like knees and elbows and collarbones and all those basic things are removed from pictures to create a better aesthetic design for the modeling industry. On the right-hand side, we have Britney Spears. There's the original on the left, and on the right we have, obviously they've retouched her skin. The thighs are much slimmer, the calves are much slimmer. They brought the waist in several inches to pinch in. And both of these women are a good example because both women are already very close to what most people would consider an ideal body type towards the modeling side of the spectrum. Right. So it's not just adults. So we have obviously clothing models and TV shows and actresses and Photoshop and all of that, but it actually also starts very young. We'll click a couple of those pictures in. Bratz dolls, Monster High dolls, Disney princesses, Barbie. We have Betty Boop, Sailor Moon, Tinkerbell. These are all images that our young children are bombarded with through cartoons and dolls that they play with. Can anyone tell me some similar features of these characters?
Big
Very tiny waist, large heads, large bust, and large eyes.
Big eyes and long limbs.
Very long legs, the same standard with the long, drawn-out kind of look. So when we have our, children watching just as simple as watching cartoons or watching movies and playing with dolls, we're communicating, to them that this is the ideal standard for a girl's body. Now, to some degree, we also live in a world where this is our culture. So we can't keep dolls and cartoons and movies from our children entirely. So the idea is to be aware of this when you're working with, if you have children at home or you're working with other children. We need to start changing these images. And if you have young children, you might have noticed that a lot of cartoons now are changing these images to have people of all different sizes and shapes, and to try to get away from some of this classic stereotypical model figure for girls. All right, and other influencers include you with a short video again.
It keeps wanting to stop every time I go to play.
a major influencer for children, for young girls, is you, whether be it you're their parent or their aunt or you work with children in any capacity. Children learn from us. Negative body image is contagious. When children overhear us criticizing ourselves or other women, they judge themselves by the criteria that we have set. We're setting a standard for them through the things that we say and we do, even if it's about ourselves. Think of a time, have you overheard a woman criticizing some body part that, let's say you overheard a woman saying she felt so fat or she was so huge. How did that make you feel? Let's say the woman was smaller than you, which happens a lot. I mean, how did that make you feel? Anybody? What we tend to do is then turn that standard that's now been set upon ourselves. We think, well, if she thinks she's fat, I can't believe what she must think about me. Or, if she thinks her nose is big, I wonder what she thinks about my nose. My nose is also big. Children do this to an even larger degree because the things that we say and do are setting the standard that they believe is correct. The impact. The thin ideal is unachievable for most women and is likely to lead to feelings of self-devaluation, dysphoria, and helplessness. Children are constantly being bombarded with media images and cultural messages that contribute to the development of poor body image and low self-esteem. And self-esteem in the long run for a child's life impacts their personal relationships, their professional success and ability to take on leadership roles, their mental and emotional health, and their happiness. So when we do it, when we think about developing a child's self-esteem by serving as a role model ourselves, this is really very important. This piece of their lives where they're developing their sense of self, their sense of worth, their self-esteem, and their body image contributes to the adult that they become, the way they're able to relate to themselves and value themselves as a woman. Teenagers with low body confidence report lower academic achievement, less physical activity, poor nutrition, less consumption of fruits and vegetables. They're more likely to abuse drugs and alcohol, more likely to have issues with depression, more likely to try crash dieting, and more likely to engage in earlier sexual activity. For adults, a couple of shocking statistics, 17% of women have reported that they have chosen not to show up to a job interview because they felt self-conscious about the way that they looked that day. Women who perceive themselves as overweight have higher rates of absenteeism, regardless of whether or not they are overweight. Just their perception of themselves as being overweight correlates with higher absenteeism. So what's a girl to do? We've established that body image is important. We've established that we're all being bombarded with images that can negatively affect our body image. So there are some things that we can do to help ourselves and other women in our lives. First of all is to be a role model. As we've discussed, kids are looking to us to set a standard. We set conscious and subconscious standards for expectations for children every single day. So we don't eat Doritos while we make them eat carrots. We don't call in sick to work every day and then send them to school. We try to be role models for them in all different ways. We try to establish work ethic. We set standards for their behavior. We set standards for their morals, their social interaction, how they're supposed to treat others. We teach them by example how they're supposed to treat others, nutrition, and their hygiene. Body image is no exception. We need to think of body image as one of the basic standard things that we need to include in the way that we teach our children as they're being raised. Children want to meet our expectations. The expectations that we set for them are what they strive for. The standards that we set as the influential adults in their lives is what they strive for. So we want to make that expectation positive. We want to make, excuse me, I'm losing my voice. We want to make those expectations something that makes them feel comfortable with themselves as adults. All right, so improving body image. The first step is to pay attention. A lot of what we do that damages our body image or the body image of others is subconscious. So it's hard to really stop something when you're doing it without realizing it. The first step, be aware. Pay attention to media images, self-criticism, criticism of others. I would challenge you for the next week, for the rest of the day or for the next week, to consciously notice every time that you criticize yourself or that a woman around you criticizes herself, and include internal criticism. Tomorrow morning when you wake up and look in the mirror, or tonight when you're brushing your teeth, notice, what are you saying to yourself? What are you feeling when you're looking in the mirror? What messages are you sending to yourself? And other women that you work with, take note. How often are you hearing criticisms? Because you might be really surprised to hear how often we're putting ourselves down. Become a critic of media images. Consciously try to stop comparing yourself to a standard that doesn't exist. Not only is it not likely that a person has the body type that's ideal for modeling, it's also absolutely impossible not to have a collarbone or elbows. So we're comparing ourselves to a standard that it doesn't exist in reality. So once you become more aware of that, you can consciously try to stop doing that. Recognize and educate others about the unrealistic standard of beauty that diminishes our self-perception. Other women and young girls, teenagers, children, point out to them these things. It's important for them to recognize that this is not
I'm sorry to interrupt, but those of you on the virtual connection, we're picking up some feedback from someone's microphone. If we could just make sure everyone is muted, that would be very much appreciated. Thank you. It gives you a chance to get a drink of water.
I can force you.
So recognizing and educating others is also an important thing that you can do to help improve body image of women around you.
I'm just going to have to break in and do it.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't want to mess with your PowerPoint, but I'm going to have to do it.
I do have some comments about that video. And when we talk
Okay,
about
Katie
them
would like to read
others,
some of the comments from our virtual participants.
we have Shelley who said, I have often thought if she thinks she's fat, she must think I'm a whale, in comparison with women saying that I'm fat and they're smaller. We have Sarah who says, I'm always amazed that my kids think I'm so beautiful, but then I always thought my mother was beautiful. And Jennifer says, when I was young, my mom used to say she was fat and ugly and was never satisfied with her looks or body. I was taller and bigger boned than her and picked up on that message. I am 53 and still struggling with that fat, ugly, and worthless message.
I think often women try to commiserate. They say something negative about themselves, and then that brings the other person to say something negative about themselves as well, instead of saying something positive first, not necessarily about themselves, but just about the other person. So if we just, instead of just saying something negative about ourselves, just try to twist it and say something positive, even if it's not about yourself, then maybe you can bring back the positive from the other person.
Right. Well, and with compliments, how many times have you all heard, if you say to somebody, I really like your haircut, really, I hate it.
Right.
I love your outfit, it's old. It's from the back of the closet.
It's old.
You're losing weight, no, not fast enough. So we have a tendency to negate the compliments that are given to us, which is something we could stop also.
I think it also changes as you age. I think you learn to like yourself better as you get older.
I have heard that before.
At least for me, that's how it finally happened.
I think having a daughter certainly is kind of eye-opening, makes you even more self-conscious of what your legacy is. And so I found that if I could try to focus on the character and not so much the physical attributes, that, I hope that that's what she'll remember, is looking for the essence of people, not what they physically look like. It's just.
And that's a good point. We want obviously to promote positive body image. We want them to feel good about their outside appearance because that affects their inner self-esteem. But we also always want to point out that their self-worth is not rooted in their appearance alone. A lot of other things about a person, are important.
I remember my grandmother when I was a teenager said to me, I was commenting about another teenager, and she said, Diana, pretty is as pretty does. And those words stuck with me my whole life.
Anyone else have any other comments or experiences relating to what they might share? A couple online.
Sarah says, I have a 5-year-old daughter and a newborn, and my kindergartner already says that she's ugly or that her clothes are ugly. It made me really change the way I speak in front of her and try to involve her in activities that take strength of body.
Great. it is amazing how young children will pick up on self-criticism. But the fact that you recognize that and can change that is great, because it's something that obviously we don't realize that we're doing that impacts them.
I think with a lot of the like domestic violence and sexual abuse type things that we see in our culture and in the media makes me realize that the way men view women's bodies is absolutely critical, and that they have to, you know, it doesn't matter what your shape is and different parts of your body, you know, I think we have a culture that's really hard to get over. You know, men, I think, are all, you know, we always feel like they're looking at certain parts of our body.
Yeah. And that's part of our body image, is how we feel that others perceive us. So we may recognize that the media images aren't real, but if we feel that others are holding us to the standard, which, you know, we constantly do, it's really, I do think that there's a lot with the media and with education for children that's turning towards the positive side with body image, but it is so ingrained in our culture that it's going to be a long road to improve. But for us individually, there are some things that we can do to help and to be part of the movement to change this body image that's hurting women all over the country, all over the world. Become a critic of media messages. We talked about that. Practice healthy behaviors that improve body image. I would challenge you to keep a list of things that you like about yourself. This may seem silly, but my goal would be the next time someone asks you to write down 3 things that you like about yourself in 60 seconds, that you can write down 10 things, just like that. Because if you take the time to think about what you like about yourself, to look at yourself in the mirror and really take those things out, then you will have practice, just like we practice the negative. Read your list often, add to it as you find new things that you like about yourself. You, of course, do not have to share this list with anybody. It could just be for you. But these kind of things do affect us psychologically. This repetitive behaviors do affect us. When you look at your reflection each day, consciously pick out things that you like about yourself. If you're not the kind of person who would like to write it down, practice positive self-talk. Pick things out. Say what you like about yourself. When somebody compliments you and says they like something, say thank you. Fight the urge to say, really, I don't think so. Fight the urge to negate those compliments. It's okay to say positive things about yourself. It's okay to take positive compliments from others. And by doing this repeatedly, you will be able to pick these things out. Ditch the diets. 95% of dieters regain all of their weight loss within 3 years. Crash dieting, fad dieting, what is it? I tried yesterday, just doing a cleanse, anything along those lines. They just don't last in the long run. And what they lead to is these constant feelings of failure that further devalue a person and their body image. Focus on finding healthy foods that you like and exercise that you enjoy doing. Making a plan that makes you miserable is not a good option. Make a plan that makes you feel good about yourself and your progress and reinforces the things that you like about yourself. Like the woman in the video said, she liked her legs because they were strong and they helped her run fast. And so running might make her feel good about her body because that's something that makes her reinforces to her why she likes her legs. Be kind to yourself. Taking care of yourself, taking time to do things that make you feel good about yourself, help reinforce that you are important and beautiful. As women, we typically have a lot on our plate, a lot of people to take care of, a lot of things going on, a lot of multitasking. So taking some time out just to do nice things for ourselves reinforces that we're worth the time and that we're worth the effort. Check your criticism of others. Not only do we internally criticize ourselves, we internally and externally criticize others. I will not ask you to raise your hand, but I'm quite certain that everyone in the room is guilty at some point of criticizing somebody else that was passing by for what they were wearing or how they looked in some way. Part of it is it's human nature and it's our culture. It's something that we have to consciously stop doing and take the time to compliment others. Questions or comments? I know we had a couple of comments, but these are just some of the ideas of things that we can do. How many of you do have children at home right now? well, in your folders, and I'll give this information to put online as well. You have a quick handout for follow-up activities with some of the things that you can do to influence other women in your life and their body image. You have a quick handout just about eating disorders, just in case this presentation has reminded you or you come across somebody that you know that needs resources related to having eating disorders. And you have, for the mothers in the room, a self-esteem discussion guide for mothers for girls aged 11 to 16. So this gives you some ideas of ways that you can open up conversation with your child. Puberty is obviously a very pivotal time in the development of body image. Their bodies are changing so rapidly that it's a time when they really form their opinion of themselves. So if you have a child in that age range, or if you will soon, this discussion guide might give you some good tips in guiding them towards having a healthy body image. And just a copy of the PowerPoint presentation, which will also be available on the website. And my business card is in the folder as well. If you have any other questions or you'd like any additional information that I can help you with, feel free to contact me. Any other comments from online?
I unmuted everyone, so
Okay.
there may be some questions.
You're unmuted if you're participating virtually, so if you have any questions or comments that you'd like to add, feel free to do so.
Some of us are still here, though.
Sorry?
I just said some of us are still listening. I didn't have any comments with the dog question.
Okay. All right. Well, there's no more comments or questions, then thank you guys.
Well, thank you, and I have to tell you, Lauren, that typically I have a mug for our speaker, and somehow I neglected to bring it downstairs today. So I will get it to you before you go, because I always like to say I like to mug the speaker, and now I don't have the prop to do it with, it's just messed up my stick, you know? Yeah, consider yourself mugged, and we'll get you a mug before you leave. So I'm Betty Critch Parsons, and I direct the National Center of Excellence in Women's Health. And at this point, I'd like to try to give you just a little bit of an update of what we've been up to and where we're going. So we have 4 retreats coming up, and mostly they'll be in the fall. We have a date set of September 19th for Williamson, so that's Mingo County, and that reaches to all those surrounding counties, including McDowell. So I know there's somebody on the phone from McDowell, so I wanted to make sure that I think maybe you might have been involved in the one last year. We'll be in Raynell in October. We're still kind of trying to work out a date. We thought we had a date for Raynell, but we found that we're being sandwiched in right now between something that's called Toots, some kind of a big festival they have called Toots, which I've never heard about.
Taste of Our Child.
Taste of Our Child, yeah. Okay. And then also Bridge Day. So, and since in Greenbrier County, Raynell is in Greenbrier County, for those of you that don't know that, and it reaches the surrounding counties, and we do pull a lot of our volunteer session leaders from the Lewisburg area, so we'll figure it out. Then also Mannington, West Virginia, and Blacksville, West Virginia, and those dates have not been set yet either, but we're close on those dates. So I would encourage any of you that are out there and know anybody that are in any of these areas and would like to join our steering committee, that would be great. We go into a community, we form a community partnership, and the partnership is what helps us deliver the program. So the WOW program is a model, but it is adaptable to meet those needs of the community, and we need you all in those communities to join us to help us get there. So just a little review with those Women on Wellness retreats. So we do Women on Wellness retreats. We do another program called Women Love Your Heart events. And with just those events, we have reached over 3,000 women since we've started, provided 19,000 screenings across the state of West Virginia. And those screenings are always coupled with a healthcare provider's consult. We've reached over 36 counties and developed over 170 community partners. I guess we're having a feedback problem again. What I also wanted to share with you is we're very excited about this, but we were approached by a radio station in Fairmont to develop something that's called Wild Talks. And actually, they didn't approach us to do that. We were talking about something else, and up it came. They were familiar with our Women on Wellness program, and so what came out of that is Wild Talks. And what my vision for them is that they will be married somewhat on TED Talks. So that, it'll be storytelling, it will be a woman or a couple of women sitting and talking with me, and we will have them on the radio, and we'll also have a podcast. So the radio station will be the radio station that will handle that, and hopefully this will become something that's syndicated. So I really, really would love to see this be go as much as TED Talk. So what I'm looking for and really need help with are women who are admired or leaders in something, and we don't really care because the Women on Wellness is holistic, so it's body, mind, and spirit, right? So whatever their field is, whatever their interest is, if you could help share that with us and tell us who those folks are, and we'd love to invite them to come and join us and let us chat with them. We do want these things to be storytelling. This is absolutely not a PowerPoint presentation, absolutely not a lecture, none of that. It will be more of a storytelling. So if you know somebody that's really good at something but they can't tell a story, oh well, that wouldn't be the person, okay? We really want that comfortable feeling to be able to reach out to women. Right now, the radio station we're talking about an 8-minute segment on Saturday mornings. It will live on our website.
I have to keep you here.
And during the week, we will have 60-second little spots that will hit all different things that will be basically sprinkled through over the week. And this is Fairmont Station at Spectrum Radio, and it's 100.9. And they feel how this conversation started with Nick Fantasia was that he feels that his radio station reaches to women. And he feels they reach like an 18 to 50-year-old market. He has since reconsidered that and realizes that there really isn't an age on the other end. So, and obviously for his reasons, I mean, everything has to be a win-win, right? For us, it's going to get our message out, and we'll be able to have all different types of topics. And for him, he hopes to reach to businesses. Women-owned businesses would be great to buy some advertising.
So are you at a point where you want people to recommend themselves or people
Yes.
they know?
Yes,
Okay.
that would be great.
And
Because
how
we're
do they
building
do
it.
that?
That's great. If you could just email us, email either myself or Katie, and my email address is ecparson@hsc.wvu.edu, or you can email the West Virginia Healthy Women email address that you see, and also just reply to one of those emails you get that prompted you to come or call us would be great. Because we're trying to build that now. We want some fun, light topics. We're hoping that we're going to kick off the session with sort of thoughts on mindfulness and the 5 languages of love that we've actually had at one of our sessions. So we want to do those kind of things. We're not looking at it being extremely clinical, although we do want to hit, the clinical pieces of women's health. We will do something on heart health and breast health and diabetes and that kind of stuff, but we really want to start off with sort of lighter things so women will be more interested. We'll build on their fun with the program. So that really is about what we're doing, and that's it. Give it back to you, Lynn.
This is a time when we can each just sort of pitch in and share things that are going on, things that we'd like to get the word out. There are events or if you have an organizational need. So I just like to open the floor for that to happen. for those who are on the computer or on the phone, and Katie, you make sure you let us know. Are they,
I unmuted them.
okay, all right, so you're unmuted if you're online, and you can just speak up. And of course, those of you here who'd like to share something.
I wanted to share that today is Equal Pay Day, so it's the day when we finally equalize the pay with men after a long 4 months into the year. And so the American Association of University Women, we have a student chapter now, and they are sponsoring and bake sales and information sessions throughout the campus. There's Mountain Lair, there's going to be one here in the ground floor level. And so
I'm doing the tutoring.
All work and be members for free because the university has joined, and we don't have nearly, probably not even 5% of our female members in the university have joined. And faculty can join for a reasonable price, but it's not free.
So AAUW, American Association of University Women.
Right.
And people could join this by getting onto that.
Yeah, just go onto the AAUW website as a student. It's free because we have a chapter here. We're a university partner. And then for faculty, they can join as a national member for like $45. And then we have a local chapter for free. But Equal Pay Day is today's policy initiative.
Great.
Thanks.
To speak up. Okay, so this past year, Robert Morris University in Pittsburgh asked me to be a keynote for a symposium, so for National Girls and Women in Sport Day, and it was a huge success, the whole event. It was just one day, and it was open to the community, and so they have asked now to partner with WVU and our college to put on a similar event next year. So this isn't happening for at least almost an entire year, about February 4th or so. So I'm going to be basically organizing that event and also doing some kind of research component with it. But I'm going to be looking for speakers on body image, female athletes, women in physical activity. I'm not really sure how the precise theme of that one-day conference, but it'll be something that'll be on campus. And so I'll be looking for some expertise and to invite people to become involved and obviously to attend. So I don't know if it gets farther, is there a way that I can reach out?
Yeah. If anybody has like resources, or if you have dates that you want to get out, and we can pass this along or listserv or put it on our website.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a website, and we also have Facebook pages, so.
Okay.
Be happy to. In fact, I would encourage anybody that wants us to do that to let us know, because we do have, the website. We actually have 2 websites, and I don't know how many Facebook pages now, like maybe 4 or 5.
I'm not sure how often this group gets down to Charleston, but June 21st for the festival in Charleston, West Virginia, there's the Taste of All, and we're having a celebrity chef, Dana Hubert he was a winner on TLC's Cake Boss, and he's doing some healthy meals on the main stage Sunday, June 21st, around 2 o'clock during the Taste of All event.
And there are folks in Charleston that are organizing this, so, yeah. I understand, speaking of June 21st, I think that's West Virginia Day.
Okay.
Isn't it?
No, it's Father's Day.
It's Father's Day too. Maybe it's the 20th. But I've heard, and I don't know, those of you who are here at Health Sciences might know for sure, that there's a new campaign that will be launched then called Lighten Up West Virginia. So I hear it's coming. So I think it's a way to get a lot of health resources out across the state. Again, extending the resources to the university. And actually in May, we can't forget not only Mother's Day,
But also the week following Mother's Day is Women's Health Week. And that is a national campaign to raise awareness of women taking charge of their own health. And that Monday is always Women's Checkup Day to encourage women to schedule appointments, get the screenings that they need. And we always put things on our website that our national office out of USDHHS, they sponsor that Women's Health Week, and so they always have some good resources that you can tap into there. Other things coming up or ideas you might share with the group?
They're talking to us and they're talking to somebody in their group.
Well, I took I took one. One going to get
Yeah. So, sorry about that, but that's the only way I knew to do it. They're just not aware of it. Yeah. Maybe just ask them to type if they have something, and then we can unmute them individually. We could do that. I have one thing on WU, the dining services is having a health fair, employee health fair. And that is on May the 12th at 10 o'clock in the towers.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. It's a pretty big event, so it'd be nice to share that so people who participate.
Can you send us the information so that we can do that? Yeah, the university is so big, there are things going on all the time. It's like, how do I know about that?
Yeah. Never mind what's going on in the rest of the state. Nobody's sharing what's going on in the rest of the state. Outside of WDU, this is across the state. So does anybody have anything they want to share? Just tell me who you are, and we will unmute you. I will unmute you.
I can, it's kind of theoretical at this point, I guess. Just since the health insurance marketplace, the enrollment piece of it has kind of died down, we're trying to focus on preventative care and encouraging people to establish with the PCP and not go to the emergency room for everything. So if anybody wants to partner and do any kind of like educational presentations or anything with their clients as far as the importance of preventative care, I'm going to try to put some things together and I'll send it out when I do. But
okay,
so kind of in those planning stages of this.
Well, that's a lot of what the Women on Wellness Retreat does, so we probably need to work very closely with you on those. And we will be having two that are, I believe, in your capture.
Yeah.
The Mannington and Blacksville would be great. The other thing that I would love you to just, I don't know how many people know, but that you are involved in that Navigator program that helps people sign up for the Affordable Health Care Act. And I really never knew that was available, and I think I have an idea of what's going on with the Affordable Health Care Act, okay? So I figure if I don't know, a lot of people don't know that, and you both were so helpful to me when my son needed to do that. So, and then different other people I've suggested. So maybe you could just give us a brief summary of what that is you do and why somebody would hook up with that.
Okay, yeah. Well, the Affordable Care Act, of course, is like an online federal marketplace for anyone. Anyone can shop on it, but the people that would benefit the most are ones who aren't offered health insurance through their job or who meet the qualifications for Medicaid or CHIP. So I cover Mon, Marion, Harrison, and Preston County, and then I have another coworker that I always forget her counties. Taylor, Randolph, Barber, and Upshur. Okay, and we meet with people in person to help them get signed up for health insurance. The open enrollment period was November 15th and it ended February 15th. But anyone with life changes, if they lose a job and lose insurance, if they get married, if they get divorced, if they have a baby, those all trigger a special situation where you can go in and enroll outside of that enrollment period. And then the other component besides actually meeting with people one-on-one to help them sign up is just kind of the outreach piece of it. Just letting people know what we do and also letting them know the importance of health insurance, the importance of preventative care, the fact that they get free screening, mammograms, colonoscopies, free immunizations, free annual physicals with their insurance plans now. So.
Because that seems to be an issue now, is it not? So we have more people that have signed up and are insured, but they're not using their insurance.
Exactly.
So that's something I think that we can all help with, is to share that the importance, one of the benefits of having insurance is actually being able to get those screenings. And I know many people that are self-insured, who actually have, good incomes, they have such high deductibles, they think that they can't do any of these things, when in fact they can, because all those screenings are free.
And I think another important aspect of kind of newly getting insurance is getting established with a practice or with a primary care provider. Because if you get sick and you're not an established patient, when you call to get an appointment, they say, oh, the first new patient appointment available is 2 to 6 months from now. So then you end up at your urgent care or the emergency department if you need immediate care. So kind of teaching people that there really is a need to get established as a patient even when you're not sick. That's kind of a new challenge for folks who haven't
And I
had
know
insurance.
PPIA is making that a requirement.
I heard that.
And it's
The medical home, is that what that, yeah.
And I think that,
I think that's important. Yeah. So thank you.
Thank you.
And I'll just share in general, I'm here kind of representing the West Virginia Healthy Start Happy Project, which stands for Helping Appalachian Parents and Infants. Our Navigator Project, which is under the Happy Project as well. We're housed in the OBGYN department here at WVU, and we work very closely with Right from the Start, which is a statewide program. And we provide services to low-income pregnant women and to new moms and infants, our moms up to 2 years postpartum, and our infants up to 1 year through Right from the Start. And it's really about we have nurses and social workers who are trained to go in the homes, meet in the clinics if we need to do a lot of health education, to care coordination, to really kind of help moms have healthy pregnancies. And then into the postpartum with the Happy Project, we're really looking at interconceptional care for women, so kind of getting them healthy after the pregnancy and getting them ready for the next pregnancy. So we've done a lot of work around our staff training around interconceptional care, because we're really looking at kind of that life course model and hopefully addressing kind of some of the long-term impact of health, not only with recovering from the current pregnancy that she's just delivered from, but also looking at the next pregnancy and kind of long-term at the health of the future children as well. So we're always open for for new enrollments. So if anybody has pregnant women that they're dealing with or new moms that might have issues, they're certainly willing to contact us. And I did bring information if anybody wants to take anything with them.
and much needed program. Anybody on the phone or online want to speak out?
We have no one that typed anything, but we can unmute everyone again one last time.
Now's your chance. If there's something going on you need to let us know about. Everybody's being shy today. All right. Well, I will go ahead and just thank you all for coming. Make sure that you check our website. We will send out when the recording is there, so you can share it with your friends and family. Remember, we've got that kind of to-do list, right? I mean, Lauren gave us all these great ideas and ways that we can really establish a better legacy for all of the girls and women around us. So it's a wonderful thing that I think all of us can really take hold of and do a better job and be much more conscientious about it. We will have our next Community Advisory Network meeting on June 3rd, and my colleague, Dr. Jane Wright, will be our presenter on mindfulness. So I think you will find that as a really enlightening topic. She has been to some very extensive trainings on mindfulness. So even if you know what it is, I think that you will really be fascinated by all that she has to share. Thanks very much, and let's stay connected.